editing gives me the least pleasure. It is my weakness. Um, I don't want to say I'm not a good editor, but I'm not a good editor because I'm just not putting my mind to it as I should and not learning or having the patience as I should. But then there are people that I know that are editors that it just seems the talent is pouring out of them that they're using their mind in a different way than I am. Um, and so I have to give the credit. I think that even if I learned everything I needed to learn, I probably wouldn't even be as good an editor as, say, my editor that I use, Lauren McGarrett. Like she's amazing. The way she's able to edit something or just figure out what I'm telling her that I want to see or how I want to see it. Um, I started out just writing as a screenplay writer, and people were like, "Oh, you write great stories, or you have such great ideas. Like, can you write this?" I would do in like 2013, I think I did my first 48-hour film challenge competition, and we ended up winning. We got, I think, horror that year, and we ended up winning the audience award, which to me was important to me. I remember the director being so upset that we didn't win overall. But I was like, why are you not happier? Like, this means if this film was in the theater right now, it would be sold out. The audience loves us, right? And that to me said more about the story than anything else. And so I felt like it was God confirming to me that this is something I can do. This is something I should continue to do. And we continued to write and work together with this team that I had. But I was going to City College at the time, and I had a professor that I would be so frustrated and just like lay it all out to him like, oh, I'm so frustrated that they took my baby. I wrote this beautiful story and they decided to put, a creepy superhero in it. And now it doesn't even make sense. Or why did you put this in? Or why did you take that out? And now there's no follow through to something else. I'm also a big stickler for continuity in film. Like you can't be eating a waffle and then the next time we see you, you're eating a bagel. Like what are you doing? So it just kind of for me shows that the person cared enough to care, that it makes sense. Like I feel like sometimes there are filmmakers that feel like, oh, I mean, like, are you trying to say that your audience are idiots? Like we see that, we see it, right? So he says to me, I mean, if it upsets you so much, why don't you direct? And I was like, oh, that's not something I ever considered. So the next year that we had the competition, I chose to direct. And I remember finishing the film and waiting, I submitted it, everything got in on time, and then I showed it to my mom. And she was like, wow, this is really good. And everyone came out to the whole red carpet thing. It was really nice. My family came. But I remember taking a moment in the bathroom and I just cried because I was like, I did this. Like, I accomplished this. And I've been, and it also gave me control that I didn't have. I think that was the thing is that when I'm writing, I have all this control that I'm creating this story exactly how I want the story to be told. There are some times that my characters in my head decide who's who or whatever. But other than that, I am controlling the way this story is being told or being, um, and then once I give it to someone else, how they read it or interpret it is up to them. And I'm fine with that when you're reading it and you say, oh, I see something this way. But for a director or someone to say, well, we're just going to cut this scene, we're going to take out this character, we don't, it's almost like you're deconstructing my newborn child. And it was so stressful, especially when it doesn't make sense to me. Um, that was really hard for me. And directing had me regain that control. And it also, when I direct other people's work, I find myself to be a lot more mindful of someone wrote this and they wrote this and it was important to them. And it's not up to me to now delete it, erase it, or whatever and make it my own thing. Like, how can we collaborate your creativeness with my creativeness and and make something that is going to matter to the masses, to the audience, right? So I do, and I think that's important. I think people should be more mindful. We have come into a time, I don't know, like you said, if it will change with the way the climate is now. People are trying to bring back the brutes, but I think there was a moment, where everyone was being more mindful and considerate of other people's um, achievements or things that they've gone through to create something and saying, well, how can I help you bring this to the next level? And then how can someone help me help the both of us, take this to a bigger stage. I'm hoping that that still happens and that, just continue to try to be mindful and considerate of other people's work. But it's very few and far between. I think a lot of people feel that way, and you're seeing a lot more writer directors now. Um, and not everybody has it. Not everybody can write, and not everybody can direct, and not everybody can do both. It is nice when you can. And if I did find someone that does a better job or would do my story a better service than I could, of course I would do it. But it's really hard to let go sometimes.